Hello and welcome to C3STREAM Land. So in the last video, I explained how we can do addition and subtraction using base 10 or Dienes blocks. In this video, let's talk about how we can do multiplication using base 10 blocks. So let's start with simple example. Let's say if we have to do 3 times 2, and we know that it's very easy. The answer is 6, but let's see how we can achieve this using base 10 blocks. So when I say 3 times 2, I simply put 3 on one side of this line that I have created. So 3 blocks maybe horizontally and 2 blocks vertically. And now I simply have to visually coordinate where these two lines meet. So think of this as points where 3 columns are emerging, and think of this as 2 points where 2 rows are emerging. And I'm going to place block on every intersection. So as you can see, if one line is emerging from this block and one line is emerging from this block, where the two meet, I put one block here. So that's my one block. Now this line, when it continues, it will intersect with the line which is coming from here. So I place another block here and here, so on and so forth. So since I have 2 blocks on my left side, I put 2 rows of blocks, and since I have 3 blocks on top, I make 3 columns. So each column, so I make 3 columns with 2 blocks in each column, or I make 2 rows with 3 blocks in each row. In however way we calculate it, I totally have put 6 blocks together. That means when I'm trying to multiply 2 and 3 together, I end up with 6 blocks. That's how we can do that's how we can show simple multiplication using blocks, which is also other way of saying is 2 times 3. As you can see visually, I have put 3 blocks 2 times, or we can also say 3 times 2. So this is 1 time, 2 time, and 3 times 2. This is also a very great way of explaining children that 2 times 3 and 3 times 2 will both be 6. The answer will still be the same. So let's try it with a little bigger number. Let's try to multiply 12 and 13 together. As you can see, these are 2 digits numbers. So if I multiply 13, let's take a bigger number on top, 13 times 12. And let's see how this goes. So I'm just going to put 13 here. 1, 2, 3. As you know, 13 is 1 rod and 3 blocks. And 12 is 1 rod and 2 blocks. Now let's see what happens. Let's focus on rods first. What will happen if we follow the same logic that we did in 3 times 2? Imagine each point in a rod, there are 10 points in the rod, and then 10 columns are coming down like this. And for this rod, which is on the left, 10 rows are coming down like this. And this intersection, I can simply represent with flat, right? So 10 times 10 will be 100. We know it because we have learned to do it on the paper, but visually, if you see, if we apply the same logic, and if we try to see that each rod here, each block here in the flat is placed at the intersection where the rows and columns are coming. So this is one flat which we will achieve by multiplying 2 rods together, right? Now let's see what will happen when we multiply rods with blocks. As you know, the value of each rod is 10 and the value of each block is 1. So 10 times 1 is 10. So I put one rod here because 1 rod is 10. 10 times 1 is 10 and 10 times 1 is 10. Now as you can see, there is 1 rod here and I need to multiply it with 2 blocks which are here. So 1 times 10 is 10 here, and 1 times 10 is 10. So 2 blocks here. So I have totally managed to put 5 blocks. Now it's time to multiply my blocks and blocks together. As you can see, this is 3 times 2, and if you remember from the last example, we have already done it. So we can put 2 times 3, or I can put a group of 2 blocks 3 times, or a group of 3 blocks 2 times. In either way, I will end up with 6 rods. Now we simply have to calculate how many flats, rods and blocks are there inside the panel, and that will be my answer for the multiplication. So I have 1 flat, so I'll simply take my paper, 1 flat, 5 rods and 6 blocks. So my answer for 13 times 12 is 156. You can try doing it using traditional method and verify it. But this is a very efficient way of explaining children how exactly multiplication works. The first very important thing which I want to emphasize that is necessary to understand is multiplication is simply repeated addition. That means, let's say if I have to say 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, instead of adding 10 plus 10 20, 20 plus 10 30, 30 plus 10 40, which is a very lengthy process, I can simply say how many times I am adding 10. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I am adding 10 6 times. So 10 times 6, or 6 times 10, and that leaves me with 60. So multiplication has just made addition or repetitive addition extremely faster. And that is a very important thing to understand, and that would be the very effective approach to teach multiplication to children. That is my way of understanding. But if you have come up with some new ideas, please feel free to share in the comments below. And till then, happy exploring.